Hello, techies. Welcome to the channel, Techies and Scientists. This weekly prognostication is being delivered a little bit late because I have to attend to some affairs yesterday, and that's why it's being delivered on Monday. Nonetheless, the week is still young. We can still review what happened last week and make some prognostication of what will be going on this week. So, last week we had FOMC. We had of we had a lot of quarterly earnings at Google, Microsoft, Meta, and we had Amazon and Apple, and it delivered spectacularly with a lot of volatility, just like I expected. But one thing that I've noticed is since after all this news announcement, the market seems to be hiding, and there were a lot of manipulation, if you can say. And that's all part of the volatility effect, I suppose. I was anticipating the opposite. I was anticipating after all this liquidity being pumped into the market, the Fed rate cuts, I thought the market would be a little bit more loose, but apparently it wasn't. And as you can see, the week started with a bang, right? So we gapped up a little bit more, and then price showed up on Tuesday the 28th, on the 29th, and as you can see, there was a small body here, and there was a wick above and the wick below. I mean, whenever you're looking at a daily and then you see a lot of wicks, or if you see a lot of bodies close to each other, it's probably a sign that there were a lot of volatility. Yeah, as you can see, there was a big wick on the 30th, and obviously one of the big bodies, right? And then it seems like on that news announcement on the 30th, on that day, it seems like we're still navigating inside inside that range from the low level of 85,853 and the high of 26,399. So we are still being in consolidation here, which is why today, which is a Monday, November 3rd, you are seeing quite a bit of manipulation, and I will kind of show you what that manipulation is. Nonetheless, the week last week is behind us. We have a new week this week. So this week is a non-farm payroll week. Typically for non-farm payroll, I usually stop trading on Wednesdays. I say Wednesday late morning. I usually stop trading from there. And Thursday, you'll see the market in tight contraction. And then Friday, if, and that is a big if, um, the government is still not open, this may be delayed. So this week we may not see a whole lot of price action going on because of the government shutdown in the US. So it's causing a lot of reports being delayed. We'll see how that pans out. Area of manipulation is this area right here. So that's one of the area that I've noticed. There was quite a bit of manipulation. So the thing is, if you're short here, price will go down and then still yank you out, and then keep going lower. And if you're going long, it went up very quickly and then also very quickly kind of stop you out. So to me, that was one of the typical days that typical price action. Usually, I would see this like on Wednesday or Thursday, but it seems like it came in a little bit earlier than usual. And now in November 3rd, we have a small gap open for Asian session, and we're still trending down. And then at some point, when we get into below that level, we may start going back up again. And then now, let's take a look at the economic calendar again. So we have unemployment situation at 8:30. So that I think that'll be the big news for the week if things reopen the way they used to. And then the next one would be the jobless claim at 8:30. There might be some actions here. I mean, if we ended up having some price action on Wednesday at 8:30 a.m., it's either going to be nothing or it's going to be a lot of wicked. So, but I'm anticipating nothing. Typical seasonal tendency around that time, or especially between the 20th and the 4th, usually get a little bit of consolidation, and then price will just poke out. So what we ended up seeing this year is we have a big price run, and it seems like we are now getting the consolidation. The big price run here, and then we have that big price one here also, and then we have a little bit of consolidation. So maybe the consolidation is coming a little bit early, and maybe when we get around the end of November, like right around after Thanksgiving, early December, we might get a little bit more spike up. And there's been a lot of layoff this year, so I'm expecting the same thing. So it's just gonna keep going up, or at best, it's going to go sideways. There will not be any big drop. If there's gonna be a drop, it's gonna be a quick recovery, and they'll blame it on something weird, like they just discover a new AI or something, and then it'll just be a flash drop, and they'll come back up between now and the end of the year. So, what is my prognostication for the rest of this week? So, right now we're in the consolidation. We are in the range. Normally, I mean, this is a weekly range from last week. This is the highest high for the last week. This is the lowest low. And we're in a very tight consolidation between the 25th percentile and the 75th percentile. Percentile line and the body of that weekly, I mean, of that daily range. Anywhere you can try to find an area where it can go short. But it was going such in a tight range, it was a little bit very difficult to have to find a decisive action of where you can go short. So for the rest of the week, I'm anticipating price to keep dropping. It will drop below the 25th percentile. And if it drop below, what level is this? Below 25,845. If it keeps dropping below that, I'm anticipating it will get into that weekly gap that is right here. I mean, there's a big gap, but if it gets into that gap, there should be a quick reaction going back up. Something like this was a big up candle, and then consolidate in a big up candle. This is what I'm expecting to see when it drops into that gap, that weekly gap. If you don't see that, then it's probably gonna keep going sideways, going around, and probably go much slower. And I will probably stay out of it because at any point it may go back up and then drop back again into the gap. I've seen that before. But also, I'm keeping an eye on this level here, which is a weekly bullish order block, which is also on the daily. It is a bullish breaker, a low high and a lower low. So price may end up dropping into this area as well, and I would anticipate a big reaction. I'm still bullish. There's no indication here that tells me that price is about to drop. To me, so far, everything is still bullish. There are no bearish signal here. If we did not get a bearish signal here, we will not get one over here. For me to see if there will be a bearish signal, there have to be a major price drop like this one. They'll have to get below this. Then once price get below this, come back up, and then resuming lower, that's when I know we're bearish. But until then, you always got to keep assuming that you're bullish. Again, if for my call to action, I'm anticipating sometime between Wednesday London session, so it will drop lower. So we have what, 2 more days. So it will drop lower at this particular levels here, between 875 and 700. I know it's a big range, right? So, I mean, it's kind of hard to decide in the middle of the week how it's going to go. But you always got to know the lows, if it's bullish, the lows are going to happen either on Tuesday or Wednesday 70% of the time, and especially during London session. So, but because it is a non-farm payroll, that usually can flip on its head. So, which is why trading is such a gray area, right? So you always gotta weigh out the pros and cons and which how you're going to best strategize on how to do this. Non-farm payroll is very special. I personally, I would trade from today I will go short from here all the way until 875, and then I will stop trading on Wednesday, and then I'll wait after 8:30, I mean, no, 8:45 a.m. on Friday, see which liquidity was taken after non-farm payroll, and then I will trade in the opposite direction. That will be my trading plan. All right. So for me, this is my prognostication for this week. It will be relatively quiet until Friday, but until next time, be safe. Click the like button and subscribe, and make sure you keep your notification bell on. Thank you.